I nominated my dog for student council president as a joke. I had no idea it would expose the biggest scandal our town had ever seen. My golden retriever English Muffin won the student council election at Lakewood Academy. I only put his name on the ballot because I thought it would be funny. When they announced the results at assembly, my friends and I practically peed ourselves laughing. The headmaster tried to disqualify English Muffin immediately, but I had read the student handbook cover to cover before I nominated him. There was nothing in the rules that said candidates had to be human. My parents hired a lawyer, and the school board decided it would look worse to fight it than to just let it happen. So English Muffin became student council president, and I became his official representative. That meant I had to attend every student council meeting and budget review session on his behalf. The first real meeting was in October. They were reviewing the annual budget report, and the headmaster kept talking about our community partnership program, where Lakewood Academy donated money to support the 3 public high schools in our district. He said we donated $500,000 every year. I knew kids who went to those schools. My best friend's little brother went to Roosevelt Public, and she was always complaining about how they did not have enough textbooks, and the heat barely worked in winter. I raised my hand and said, if we donate that much money, why are the public schools always broke? The headmaster smiled at me like I was 5 years old. The needs are significant. Our contribution helps, but there are many challenges in public education that money alone cannot solve. Something about the way he said it felt wrong. After the meeting, I asked to see the actual donation receipts. They tried to say no, but the student handbook gave student council president access to financial documents related to school programs. It took 2 weeks, but they finally gave me a folder with copies of checks made out to Roosevelt Public High School, Jefferson Public High School, and Lincoln Public High School. $500,000 total, just like they said. Except when I looked closer, the checks were dated from 3 years ago. I asked for receipts from this year, and they said they would get them to me. They never did. I emailed 4 times. Finally, I went to the headmaster's office with English Muffin and said, I need the current year donation receipts or I'm going to assume they don't exist. He got angry and said, young lady, you are overstepping your authority. Student council does not have unlimited access to private financial matters. I said, the community partnership program is listed in our school handbook as a student-led initiative. That means it falls under student council oversight. He told me to leave his office. So I called Roosevelt Public directly and asked to speak to their principal. I said I was doing a school project on charitable partnerships and wanted to confirm how much Lakewood Academy had donated this year. The principal sounded confused. She said, Lakewood hasn't donated anything in 2 years. We used to get about $50,000 annually, but it stopped. I felt my stomach drop. I called the other 2 schools. Same story. No donations in 2 years. But Lakewood Academy was still telling donors and taking tax deductions for $500,000 in annual charitable contributions that did not exist. I printed everything. Phone records, the old receipts, the current budget report claiming active donations. I took it to the school board meeting in November where they were presenting to major donors. I walked up to the microphone during public comment with all my evidence and said, our headmaster has been lying about charitable donations for 2 years. Lakewood Academy claims to give $500,000 to public schools annually, but the public schools confirm they haven't received a penny. Where did the money go? The room went completely silent. Then the headmaster stood up and said, this is a disturbed student making false accusations. She has been increasingly erratic since this absurd dog situation began. The board president said, we'll investigate these claims privately. This is not the appropriate venue. I said, the appropriate venue is wherever people will actually listen. Then the mother of one of my classmates stood up and said, if these accusations are false, you can sue her for defamation. But if they're true, my family has been donating to Lakewood specifically because of the community partnership program. Show us the receipts right now. They could not. The headmaster tried to explain that there had been accounting confusion and budget reassignments. 3 major donor families walked out immediately. By the time I got home, I had 17 missed calls from the school. The next morning, I was called into the headmaster's office and told I was being expelled for violating confidentiality agreements and causing reputational harm to the school. My parents said they would fight it. The headmaster said, your daughter's college applications will be permanently marked with disciplinary expulsion. Is that really worth it? I was escorted off campus that afternoon while English Muffin stayed in the car. The state education board investigated, and the headmaster was arrested for fraud after they found he had been redirecting donation money into private facility upgrades. I transferred to Roosevelt Public where English Muffin was re-elected.